On a previous episode of Mac Moments, I shared with you how you can use Spotlight on your Mac to find anything on your computer. I made a comment that in the real world we need Spotlight because we don't have a naming system for our files that make them easier to find again. Hi, I'm Dave Edwards, creating a better file naming system today. If you're interested in productivity and computer tips, please subscribe below and hit the like button. It would make my day. Searching your computer notwithstanding, I want to share some ideas on file naming that I've used and for the most part have worked very, very well for me. Rule number one is to try to think of how you might need to find this note or even think of this note when you're looking for it 5 years into the future. Rule number two is to develop a series of parent and sibling folders. A lot of businesses, including my own, create a master or top line folder named after the client. So let's just say General Motors. Now, within that folder, there are projects. So what I do is I add a subfolder that includes the topic and date, like Ad Campaign 2022. A second project for this client would get a second subfolder, like Emission Legislation 2019. Now, you will likely need additional folders within those subfolders. For example, in the Ad Campaign folder, you might need a couple of more folders, like Radio Ads 2022 or TV Ads 2022. Below that level, you will likely store documents. Some might be Word docs, other may be PDFs, Excel spreadsheets, any number of things. I recommend beginning these notes with the date the document was created. So I use this convention: the year, a space, 2-digit month, and 2-digit date, or 2022-0303. This helps with chronological sorting, and it's easy for the eye to find what you might be looking for. Following the date, I add a short description that will help me find what I'm looking for. So 2022 space 0303 hyphen ad proposal version 1. Version 1, I just call it V1. If it is a final document, my last entry would be 2022-0303 ad proposal final. So I always have all of the versions in case I want to go back to see how things evolved or changed, but I also have a notation for the final proposal. If I have meeting notes to save in a client folder, I would name them in a very similar way. 2022-0303 hyphen client meeting on ad design. Now, by the way, I use this very same system for photos in my photo library. While the date of the photo is actually embedded in the data of your picture, that won't help me when I'm really going through thousands of pictures to find the one I want. So pictures from my 2023 vacation to Disney World starts with the main folder, vacation folders. Then Disney World 2022-03 or March of 2022. Then I'd create a folder called 2022-0303 Magic Kingdom. So that tells me that on my Disney vacation in March of 2022, I spent March 3rd at Magic Kingdom. And inside that folder, I labeled my pictures with date and subject. So in this case, it might be a picture labeled 2022-0303 Grandkids with Mickey. If there are multiple photos, it would be 2022-0303 Grandkids with Mickey 1 and Grandkids with Mickey 2, etc., etc., etc. Couple of other quick rules to wrap up. Rule number 3 is to decide early on what type of names you're going to use. So when you file a bank statement, Will you label it as bank statement or by the name of the bank? Really doesn't matter as long as you have a consistent plan in mind. And that is rule number 4. Be a stickler on consistency. This is especially important if your files are stored on a shared drive and are accessible for others. Make sure that everyone is trained on the system that's in use and they're told they cannot alter the system. And rule number 5 is write your system down so that new employees can instantly see how it's done. I think a lot and write a lot about productivity. And I've created an online on demand course called Pathway to Productivity and Better Time Management. If you really want to dig in on naming conventions and all sorts of other ways for you to stay better organized, I'd really recommend the course. Go check it out. Pathway to Productivity and Better Time Management is the name. As it lasts about an hour, it's on demand, so you could watch the lessons anytime you want. It's everything from how to manage your email and what do you do when you got too many meetings and all these other kinds of things. Check it out. It's at my website, daveedwardsmedia.com. Click on courses and you'll find it there. Thanks very much for joining me today.